Hello everyone, this is Craftsman. I'm playing Dawn of the Tiberium Age again, and this time we're doing something different than the usual 1v1. As you can probably tell, since the map is completely revealed.
Construction complete.
Today I'm actually playing with Flame. He's playing Soviet while I'm Nod. And this is a map that we both worked on together and should be complete in one of the upcoming releases.
Options. Building. Unit ready. On hold.
So Flame, can you tell us what inspired this map?
So I was wanting to make a DTA map because I really love playing DTA. And I didn't know what to make. So I decided that I would model it slightly after the farm that I live on. So I put the original layout of the forest and the roads.
Construction complete.
And then I wasn't really happy with the level of detail. So I added some rivers, some Tiberium, you know, interesting stuff like that.
I'm guessing all these dinosaurs and fiends aren't part of the original, aren't on your farm.
No, they are not. I imagine though that our animals would probably turn into something like them if they got corrupted, infected, I guess, by Tiberium though. So hypothetically, they could be there.
Yeah. So the map name is Forest Clearing. It's a 2-player map, and kind of the idea is that there's a solid layer of trees dividing both bases. So you have to use DTA's tree burning feature to clear a pathway.
New construction options.
Now on these 2 narrow stretches, you always have to destroy, except maybe right here, 3 trees to get to the other side. Yeah, it looks like there's a couple spots where you only have to destroy 2 over here, so I might need to fix that.
Building. Construction complete. Low power.
So the layout here is you have your 2 spawn positions, and there's a regenerating green tib field close to the base and blue non-regenerating field nearby. And then further away you have an ore or Tiberium field. They're both basically the same as far as resources go.
Unit ready. Building.
Vehicle reporting out.
So after that you have 2 expansion bases. There's one up here that has 1 regenerating ore field and some pre-placed ore. And down here we have a regenerating tib fields, and these kind of redder trees are actually mutating trees. So they turn into tib trees after like 15 minutes or something, I forget. So this one, since it has all these spawners, it's actually more valuable in the long run. And if you can expand down there before they spawn, you'll have more building space, so you can get your refineries where you want them.
Unit ready.
Awaiting order.
And then the last thing is up in these 2 corners, you have 2 very valuable bases. So the one up here in the top right has all these gems. Easier to get to than the other one, that's for sure. And you'll see in a minute there's actually a train that comes and drops the gems off.
Building.
It's right over by my base right now, getting filled up.
So this here you won't normally see in a game with Shroud is on. That's what this cliff is for. And this whole cliff is covered in impassable overlay. I had to do this to make the train work properly, because it can't load and unload stuff off of the map. So, I wish that didn't have to be there, but it does. So this is kind of just a docking station. The train brings the gems in,
Construction complete.
and it gets loaded onto empty freighters and gets shipped off.
New construction options. Building.
Right over by the mutating trees, I'm using one of Soviet's very useful weapons to clear off a bunch of trees.
Oh yeah. So one of the faction imbalances that this map is prone to is that some factions have better tree clearing units. So as you can see, this behemoth,
Unit ready.
if it force fires the ground in one spot for long enough, it will burn down a whole like 10 by 10 section of trees. Nod also has some pretty good tree burning tools, and honestly, tree clearing isn't that important since you only have to get through a small section to get to the resources. But you tend to see stretched out lines of buildings like this. So that's kind of one of the features of the map, is that you get these spread out bases.
Construction complete. Unit ready.
Now, so I explained the gem base up here. On the top left, you have this infected forest. Originally, it came clear down around where Flame's base is. It has lots of mutated trees and other trees. I had to push it back behind the river because
Unit ready. On hold. Cancelled.
because it was just too imbalanced. You'd either have to do it on both sides or on neither side. Because if you burn down the trees around these resources, it becomes incredibly valuable.
Unit
I mean,
ready.
you can see in this top left, there's like 20 to 30 Tiberium trees. So if you can capture this refinery up here and burn down all of these trees, you'll have an infinite supply of money and much more valuable than the gems up here.
Unit ready.
But it takes a lot of time. So from what I've played, we don't usually get to these bases in pro matches, but in a really campy game, they could be leveraged to break a stalemate.
Unit ready.
Awaiting orders. Reporting.
Frame rate's down to about 30 again. It's probably because of all your behemoth flames lagging my system down.
Oh,
Reporting. Yes, sir.
well, I think I've cleared enough trees over here, so I
Yeah.
guess I can stop.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Reporting.
Yeah, my
Unit ready.
my computer isn't that great, and this many trees alone just drags it down a bit.
Awaiting order. Unit report.
But
Reporting.
I can run
Construction
at
complete.
60 when I'm by myself, at
New
least.
construction options. Building.
Awaiting order.
I think I have enough light tanks.
Yeah, you do.
I could crush you right now. That is, when they get there. This game
Yeah.
this game probably won't be as fun for you now that we have lag again, because Soviet has the slow units.
Construction complete.
Yeah, they're so slow. Maybe I should buy a Chinook. That'll help.
Unit reporting. Unit reporting. Reporting. Acknowledge. Reporting.
So, basically, as far as getting expansions go, you can base crawl to these two fields if you want to. But to get along here, it's better to just move your MCV, especially because of how narrow these roads are.
Unit reporting. Unit
it's a little bit easier for
Reporting.
the person who starts at my spawn point because you can build along the road with silos.
Awaiting order.
Yeah.
You also don't have as
And-
easy of an expansion.
And the ore is a bit closer because of this pre-placed ore. It's a little bit closer to the base.
Awaiting order. Awaiting order.
New construction.
I know Volkov counters tanks flame, but not that many.
Unit ready.
Yeah, well, perhaps that was a little bit foolish of me.
Reporting.
Building. On hold. Cancel. Building. On hold.
Awaiting order. Affirmative.
Now there are a couple Easter eggs on this map that I hope to get to while we're playing. But first I need to explain kind of the process of how this map was made, because Flame started it and I finished it.
That's true.
So,
Thanks for finishing it.
like Flame said, he started the map. It's based on his farm, but
Construction.
and we worked on it together a bit then. I'd give suggestions and we'd figure out how to get things more balanced, what to add and
Yeah.
stuff.
This is my first time making a map, so I was a little bit unfamiliar as to how to do it.
Yeah, it was my first. Well, I've made one small map before, but it wasn't really finished.
Building.
So I mean, I just placed cliffs and buildings and stuff in that map, and it wasn't really a full-fledged map.
Reporting.
Construction complete.
But yeah, then I stopped playing GTA and kind of quit all of that, all computer stuff for a while. And when I was away, Craftsman kindly took over because I shared the latest version of the map with him.
Reporting.
Yeah, because we didn't know when you'd be back, so I said,
Yes.
"Hey, I'll finish it for you."
Awaiting order. Reporting.
Insufficient
And
funds.
luckily, you weren't gone for that long,
Yes.
and so here
Very
you
nice.
are. And so here you are, and the map hasn't been released yet. Yeah,
Yes.
It took me a while to get it finished because I put a lot of hours into it. Like I said, it's the first detailed map I've done. The developers kept having ideas for how to make it better,
Unit reporting.
and I didn't really want to do them, but I did. And
Construction complete.
last thing was all the trees were kind of messed up because when you originally made this flame, you used the random tree painter tool.
Yes.
And
it seemed like a great idea at the time.
Apparently it didn't do that good of a job of placing trees. Now maybe
Building.
Awaiting order. Vehicle
Ah.
reporting.
it might be better with more trees in the list or fewer, I don't know. But either way, we get lines of identical trees, and so I got stuck on that because it was going to take a lot of more
Complete.
time to redo all the trees by hand.
Building.
Oh, I hear ants dying.
That would be me.
Unit
But yeah, it was going to take a long time to do all the trees by hand, and I was pretty much running out of time. I had other stuff to do, and I was kind of burnt out on this. A bit discouraged.
Building.
awaiting orders. Reporting.
So, started working on it again, like a month ago, I guess. Added some more details, fixed a couple bugs. Apparently the cost of the vehicles didn't work. So we were discussing earlier how there's this tractor here, and there's a truck that starts up here, and on my side there's also a tractor and a truck. And when I put those there, the plan was you could kill them both with a minigunner and get it to elite, but we decided that that probably wasn't the best idea. It would be hard for people who had never played on the map before and just hadn't played that much in general to have an elite minigunner walk into their base. So yeah, one of the other things about this map is that these are all single trees. The map editor also has tree groups, which are, you can see some of them down here, they're just thicker trees. We opted to go for mostly single trees because they are passable by infantry. And so all of these forests can be passed by infantry, but vehicles have to destroy the trees to get to them. So that's one of the unique features of the map that isn't in any other map in DTA.
Building.
All the others mostly use cliffs and rivers to stop movement. On this you can see the only cliffs are just a few up in this infected forest, so it's a very flat map and relies on trees. It's more of an Age of Empires style game. Because in Age of Empires you can't get stuff through trees.
Unit ready.
Right.
So you have to burn them down to create paths if they're problematic. It depends on the map. I haven't played or watched much Age of Empires stuff.
Building.
But one video I watched was on a certain map where there's just one narrow pathway between the two sides. And this one guy's strategy was to completely wall that off.
Construction complete.
And just not let the other player through and make it a really long campy
Unit
game.
ready.
And so that's kind of the same thing here.
Building.
Vehicle
Unit
reporting.
ready.
Reporting.
Construction complete.
Reporting. Waiting orders.
Unit ready.
What? Oh, there it is.
Building.
Unit reporting.
Construction complete. Your harvester is under attack. Building.
Huh. I built a Tiberium fueled plant and it damaged a harvester that was driving by it.
Construction complete. New construction
Oh dear.
options.
Waiting orders.
Building. Building.
Reporting. Waiting orders. Unit reporting.
Unit ready.
Okay, one of the things I added, Flame, is see up in this top right base, there's a deployed sensor array.
Unit ready.
Oh,
Unit reporting.
So
That's
I
a
added
good
that
idea.
because there's this empty stretch of wall between these two guard towers, kind of at the front here,
Unit ready.
next to this row of cabins.
yeah.
And it was possible if you destroyed one wall segment there, you could sneak a stealth APC in and capture the refinery and advanced tech center up here with that. So basically would give Nod a bit of an advantage if they were to
Building.
try to pull that off.
Yeah, one time when I was playing this, I did do that.
Moving out.
So that's a good idea
Building.
to put that mobile sensor array there.
Construction complete.
Yeah, because it's not. It would be difficult to pull off in
Unit
without
ready.
revealed map. What's this?
Yeah.
On the right side of the map, this grass just abruptly ends. I didn't realize that before.
Unit ready.
Because that used to be the edge of the map, I think. I don't
Unit
know.
Ready.
Possibly.
Unit reporting.
Right next to the ruined building.
You know where this V of advanced guard towers is on the very right edge. Next to these solar panels.
Oh, yeah.
Now there was a lot of other irregularities like that, which I smoothed out. Like all of this was pretty square, and I put these rocks in the middle. That's next to where my artillery are right now.
Reporting. Yes, sir.
Building.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders.
Did I hear a cyborg?
Unit reporting. Affirmative.
No.
Okay, good.
I have one, but I didn't give him an order.
Construction complete.
Awaiting orders.
Good.
And you'd only hear him anyways right when he's built. Well, I think that only works for Tanya and Commando,
Yeah.
where it has that global sound when they're created.
Which is kind of good to know, because otherwise you could just get ambushed by one of them and totally not even know it.
Building.
Vehicle reporting. Unit reporting. Awaiting orders. Moving out. Awaiting orders. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Moving out. Reporting. Moving out. Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Reporting. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders.
Construction complete. Unit
Reporting
ready.
order. Affirmative. Awaiting orders. Unit reporting.
Unit lost.
Wait.
Unit lost. Unit ready.
Reporting. Vehicle reporting.
Your harvester is under attack.
Vehicle reporting. Unit reporting. Knowledge.
Unit
That almost succeeded.
Waiting orders. Reporting.
Yeah.
select target.
Of course, I had that cyborg at your base.
Unit ready.
I could have just destroyed your refineries while you destroyed it.
Reporting.
That's true.
Our base is under attack.
Unit reporting.
I ordered my artillery to come help, but they decided to attack the civilian buildings instead.
Well,
Building.
that's almost as useful, you know.
Unit reporting.
Building. On hold. Cancelled.
Reporting. Affirmative.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Waiting order. Yes, sir. Reporting. Yes, sir.
How'd
You know,
that work?
I thought it was odd that you just had one random power plant over there.
Yeah. There's an MCV there too.
Oh, thank you.
So
This makes a lot more
you
sense now.
I could have let you destroy this one and it wouldn't have hurt me too much.
Unit ready.
Sorry.
Waiting order.
Building.
Unit reporting. Reporting. Moving out.
Unit ready. Building.
So I've played a few maps or a few games on this map in older versions. Every one of them, I thought the gameplay was very interesting. Like there was one, I forgot who I was fighting against, but we fought over the mutating trees field for like 30 minutes. I was Nod, he was Soviet, I think. No, he was GDI, of course. He kept ion cannoning my SSM. He had an exo power suit camping down here, and I had base crawled to it and was trying to take it. He had deployed an MCV at the head up here.
Unit ready.
Yeah. It's
Building.
unusual to get a map where
Insufficient
the
funds.
Soviets can stand up to not at all.
Yeah, I mean it has some pretty good choke points on this map. The openness generally favors Nod, but the trees block it off enough. I think it still favors Nod because the cyborg,
Processing.
I mean kind of, the cyborg can walk through trees and so he can get around to any part of the base,
Ready.
but then you rarely just see a cyborg just walking across the field.
Affirmative.
Right.
Acknowledged. Awaiting orders.
I mean normally they're chinooked around and then the trees don't really matter. Except that it's... that's one interesting thing that I think could be a good tactic, is actually chinooking stuff into the middle of these trees where there's an open space. Like, I actually have a big green meadow right next to my base, where SSM there could
Construction complete.
one-shot this Tiberium plant.
That's true. Which you should probably repair.
It'll just get damaged again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Affirmative.
Oh, you know, I never used them, so I have no clue how they work.
Yeah, well, it's worth using them, just saying. Because there was a bug in an old version where it cost 2,000 credits,
Moving out. Yes, sir.
and it's only supposed to cost 200. So that's fixed now, and actually, it's actually worth using now.
Yes, sir. Waiting
Okay.
orders. Acknowledged.
Because basically what it does is quadruples the power output of the power plant. When it's at full health. When it's at half health, it doubles the power output, but it has half of the health.
Waiting orders.
Okay.
So
I always thought that it was back to normal power plant output once it was hurt.
Unit reporting.
no, it goes down to double.
Okay.
Building. On hold. Cancel. Building. Building.
Unit
Unit ready.
waiting orders. Moving out.
Unit ready.
So yeah, basically when they're at half health, they can be destroyed much easier. They get one shot by the ion cannon, they get one shot by nukes. So they're very vulnerable targets, and they're worth more once they have that upgrade. It's easier to knock out somebody's power by destroying one,
Unit ready.
and
Reporting. Reporting.
it takes less effort to do it.
Right.
Unit ready.
So the other thing is that if it's in a stealth field, and while it's taking damage, it'll reveal itself. So that's why I just let him die down to half
Unit
health,
ready.
especially if they're in a stealth field,
Right.
because you don't want to give away its position. It's
Unit ready.
harder to hide. But
Yep.
at the same time, I talked about how it's a big disadvantage
Waiting orders.
if it gets destroyed.
Ready.
But it's also an advantage because if you're about to lose power up here, like if I was about to lose this power plant for the people watching,
Unit ready.
I could
Select
just go back
target.
here and repair this one, and it would increase its power output, so I wouldn't lose my power.
Unit ready.
Kind of like the GDI power upgrades in Tiberian Sun.
Well, that's exactly what it is, because they were basically repurposed for this.
Unit ready.
Vehicle reporting. Unit reporting.
Well, I guess the power turbines didn't deal damage, but
True. Yep.
Waiting orders.
Unit ready.
Vehicle reporting. Vehicle reporting. Reporting.
Well, I'm surprised how long these pre-placed ore fields are lasting.
Unit ready.
Engineering. Awaiting order. Vehicle reporting. Reporting.
Unit
Waiting
ready.
orders.
Building.
Reporting.
Unit ready. Construction
Affirmative.
complete.
Waiting orders. Reporting. Vehicle reporting.
Unit ready.
Dog now. Waiting orders. Unit. Engineering. Engineering. Yes, sir. Input proceeding. Affirmative. Unit reporting.
Unit ready. Building.
Input directive. Unit reporting.
Unit ready.
Waiting order. Unit. Unit reporting. Comlink open. Reporting.
Unit ready.
Moving out.
Well, I'm about to capture the not tech center over here.
Ah. I'm about to capture my tech center too. Hey, message shows up for both of us. Okay, so this is the first Easter egg. See, it says Flame lives in death. This is something that I added while Flame was away as just kind of a memorial. And you see now
Much thanks.
he has captured the refinery. And also it
Unit
produced
ready.
some chem warriors, which he then is taking back in his Chinook. And they spawn at veteran level.
Units ready.
Here they are. My special task force.
Unit reporting. Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Following good. Vehicle reporting. Waiting order. Vehicle reporting. Units ready.
Okay, so there's another
Unit ready.
oddity I should try to point out to you guys. I'm going to use... No, this guy won't
Unit
work.
ready.
Reporting. Reporting. Vehicle reporting. Reporting.
Unit ready.
Okay, this guy will work for that.
Unit ready.
Affirmative. Acknowledged. Comlink open.
Okay, I'm going to capture the
Vehicle reporting.
refinery and the Allies Advanced
Unit
Tech
ready.
Center now.
Yes. Affirmative.
Oh boy.
Building
Uh-oh.
captured. Your harvester is under attack.
The ships are attacking my refinery.
Yes. Yes. Vehicle reporting.
Building
Wait,
captured.
this refinery harvester is already full health, or full of Tiberium.
Mine was too.
Reporting.
I wasn't aware of that. Okay, in the name of Flame. So that's the other Easter egg, basically along the same lines. And I got a group of jump jet infantry.
Units ready.
Well, I love my hotkeys. I have one free hotkey, and it's Control 1.
Reporting. Unit reporting. Moving out.
Select target.
Units ready.
Your harvester is under attack.
Hey, thank you. I needed that harvester killed.
Really?
Yeah. I was going to show off what happens when it dies, so
Okay.
go
sure.
ahead and...
Unit lost.
Oh, where did
Your
I get
harvester
attacked?
is under attack.
Oh.
Report. Waiting order. Moving out. Moving out.
Meanwhile, I am building defenses to kill your stuff. Okay, see what it spawned underneath it? Not green Tiberium. It had green Tiberium in it.
Report. Yes, sir. Affirmative. Yes, sir. Acknowledge. Yes,
No, 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 no.
I guess those are your special chem warriors, so as long as I'm not dead, I'll leave them alive.
Heh.
Because
Thank you.
this is not a super serious game.
Building.
Yes, if it were, we would definitely have left the bases alone.
reporting.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Reporting. Series moving out.
Unit ready.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Waiting order.
So why did it turn from green Tiberium to ore?
Okay, so it's the train that drops these gems off up here. Bitta had to make a
Unit ready.
custom animation to make it work.
Acknowledge.
Ouch.
Unit ready.
So, OKO has this test map where he has a train come in and drop off green Tiberium that's at full growth stage. So it's
Unit ready.
because there's different growth stages for Tiberium. Everything around these mutated trees is level 1 and is not that valuable.
Oh.
Unit
Gee.
ready.
And so, for gems, I could only get the train to drop off level 1 gems, which are actually less value than level 12 Tiberium. And so that was kind of a problem. So what we had to do is, Bitta added a custom animation that will
Unit
spawn
ready.
gems as well as Tiberium. And I might not be recalling this correctly, but I think
Unit
that's what
ready.
this is using. So it would normally have half gems, half green Tiberium.
Unit report. Affirmative. Waiting orders. Affirmative.
Unit ready. Building. On hold. Cancelled. Building. On hold. Cancelled.
So what we did is a in modification that swaps Tiberium and gems. And so that's why these show up as gems instead of green Tiberium. But at the same time, when a harvester gets destroyed, it spawns the gems instead.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Acknowledged.
I also had to make
Unit reporting.
another change.
Vehicle reporting. Yes, sir. Waiting orders.
So, Visceroids normally heal on Tiberium. But now since the Tiberium is gems,
Waiting orders.
I didn't want them to heal on gems, and so I had to disable healing for Visceroids. And I'm not entirely sure how that affects... Well, it doesn't affect the Cyborg because he can heal on anything. Even scrap metal.
Building.
Engineering. Moving out.
Unit lost.
Reporting. Yes, sir. Unit waiting orders.
Unit
Reporting.
lost.
Reporting.
Time to play around with jump jets.
Ready and waiting. Ready and waiting.
They're invisible,
Reporting.
but you can still see the shadow.
Oh, interesting.
Awaiting orders. Affirmative. Unit, yes, sir.
Construction complete.
Reporting.
Hey.
Heh.
Awaiting orders. Reporting.
I saved it.
Awaiting orders. Moving out. Reporting. Yes, sir. Awaiting orders. Reporting.
Oh dear.
Building. On hold. Cancelled.
The thing about jump jets is they can have both flying and landing mode. And so they're kind of difficult to control, hence why they were removed from the game, because they used to be a GDI unit. But they're kind of fun to play around with, so I thought they'd make a good tech unit. Since Flame doesn't have any anti-air here, I'm going to keep them airborne as much as I can. They're kind of like helicopters with infinite ammo. And they don't have that random movement thing either.
Construction complete.
Oh. That's anti-air. Now my jump jets are elite. Okay, so there's a reason why I did not give Flame elite chem warriors. And that is because elite chem warriors have this bug where whenever they kill anything, it will spawn a Visceroid.
Unit reporting.
So I didn't think that was the best bug
Knowledge. Reporting.
to have as a tech unit, so I just gave it Veteran. And Veteran are pretty strong anyways, so...
Building.
There.
Awaiting order. Acknowledged. Reporting. Moving out. Unit reporting. Acknowledged.
Construction complete.
Acknowledged. Affirmative.
Unit lost.
Yep.
Acknowledged. Affirmative. Reporting.
That's the end of my chem warriors.
Building.
It's also the end of your behemoth.
What?
Acknowledged. Awaiting
Construction
order.
complete.
Awaiting order. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Reporting. Yes, sir.
Let's see if I can pull this off.
Awaiting orders.
Building.
Reporting. Acknowledged. Reporting.
I can. Okay, so I'm basically trying to end the game now, because we've basically covered everything, I think.
Awaiting orders.
Construction complete.
That we did.
Awaiting orders. Unit reporting.
And
Reporting orders. Reporting orders.
dinner's ready for me, so I'm going to try to speed things up a little bit. At a very slow rate,
Alright.
at a very slow rate, of course, because of our
Building.
frame rate.
Unit reporting.
Building.
Awaiting orders.
Oh,
I don't need midges anymore.
Yes, sir. Awaiting order. Affirmative.
Goodness, this is slow.
Unit reporting.
Construction complete.
Awaiting orders. Ready and waiting. Awaiting orders. Awaiting orders. Unit reporting.
Yeah, I'm toast.
Reporting. Waiting or reporting.
Ooh, you got a tank army coming for me too.
Unit reporting.
I just now saw that.
Unit reporting.
Well, I thought it would be kind to return the favor.
Knowledge. Waiting orders. Reporting. Unit reporting. Knowledge. Vehicle reporting. 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 Waiting orders.
My Volkov is still on the Tiberian area, so he is absolutely useless.
Ready and waiting out.
Which Tiberium? Oh, up here.
Yeah. I don't have my Chinook anymore.
Neither do I.
Reporting.
What was that because of me?
Yeah, I didn't quite catch what happened to it, but
Unit lost.
I think my Chem Warriors might have killed it. Quite a waste of that.
oops, there goes
but
my SSM. I didn't pay attention.
Building.
This is going to be a base race.
Building. Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Construction complete. Unit ready. Our base is under attack.
Reporting.
Unit lost.
Reporting. Ready and waiting.
Unit lost. Your harvester is under attack. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Unit ready.
Waiting orders.
Primary program selected. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit ready. Unit lost. Building.
Waiting orders. Knowledge. Knowledge.
Insufficient.
Just so you know, I'm going to win.
Unit ready.
Oh yes, I knew that.
Waiting orders.
Mainly because I still have an MCV.
I know.
Unit lost.
In fact, I have 3.
Construction complete.
And now I can see the ball. Or
Select the pool.
2 of them. Where's your third?
Stealth?
Unit ready.
Wait, no, actually it's
But you
not.
don't have
I don't have power. My third is moving.
Oh, I see.
Lost.
It's
Okay.
moving to where I can protect it.
Reporting.
Unit lost.
Ready and waiting. Unit reporting. Reporting.
Construction complete. Building applied. Building.
Reporting. Waiting orders. Unit
Construction complete.
GG.
Yeah, good game. That pretty much sums it up.
waiting orders.
Oh. Yeah. I don't care about these 2 buildings. I'm not gonna make you come up and get them. Thank you for playing.
Sir.
Thank you. This has been Craftsman. Thanks for watching.